Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for following my videos and engaging so far. Thank you. So today we are going to be having a conversation around friendships, and this is something I feel, or this is an area that I feel that I've struggled a bit in time past. And so I'll just be drawing lessons from my own journey that I believe may help someone or would help someone out there. The first lesson that I want to speak to is that friendship in itself, or building relationship, is a skill that has to be learned. For many of us, we believe that, or we feel that we'll just get into relationships or friendships and everything is just going to be a smooth sail. But that is not always the case, because you have to realize that you're dealing with people that are different from you, people that had or have different backgrounds, people that have different upbringings and have different ideas and opinions about life in general. So building relationships with these people will require skill, would require mastery in some certain or specific areas, and these are things that we have to learn. Personally, for me, growing up, I grew up with 10 siblings, and so having a friend that was close was not so much of a necessity to me. And so I did not really think that I needed friends till maybe in my senior secondary days and all that. I started to get close to some people and I started to be in relationships or friendships. I realized that the things that worked with my siblings did not work with these friends. I realized that I did not have the necessary skills to build friendships. And to be honest with you, at that stage in my life, I did not fixate on learning those skills because I still did not think that it was very necessary. I didn't even think that it was something to learn. A few years down the line, I started to realize that I had a problem with keeping friendships and I had to work on it. And that is when that journey started. So I'll tell you for free, you need to understand that in building relationships and building friendships, there are things that you have to learn. You have to also learn the person or the people that you're in relationships with or you're in friendships with. Learn what they love, learn what makes them happy, learn what makes them feel disrespected, learn what makes them feel respected, learn how to be there for them, learn how to support their work, learn how to show up for them. There are many things that you just have to learn communication. So there are a lot of skills around relationship building that you have to learn. But usually it's also important that when you find yourself in friendships, you learn these skills in the context of the person that you are in that friendship with, because people are different and people differ. So the second lesson I want to speak to, or the second thing I feel like I learned, is knowing when you are the problem. I already mentioned that years ago, I struggled with being in friendships because there are things I did not know about building friendships. And at certain points, when I fell out of relationships or friendships with people that I cared about, I did not realize at that time that I was the problem. But growing up and learning how to actually be in friendships, how to actually show up for my friends, how to actually love them and respect them, I realized that those friendships failed because of me. So there is a certain level of self-awareness that you also have to have as a friend. You have to learn that there are things about you that may be acting as obstacles to that relationship thriving, or things about you that may be stopping that relationship from growing, that friendship from growing as it should. Understand that you can be the problem. I know that we are in the world where every year it seems like everybody's saying, who can I cut off? Who am I cutting off in 2025? Who am I not entering the year with, and all that? But what about you're the person that needs to be cut off? Have you ever thought about the fact that you may be the problem in the relationship and not the other person? It's something that you have to have the humility to think about. Introspectively examine your actions in that friendship or in that relationship. Are there things that I'm doing that's sabotaging this relationship or this friendship? These are questions that you need to consistently ask yourself, so that when relationships are ending, you'd know for a fact that you have done all that you can do, and this thing is ending because there's no nothing that you can do anymore. So the third lesson that I've learned is knowing when to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. As much as I've spoken to knowing and having the humility to know when you are the problem or when you are the one that is sabotaging the relationship, you also have to have the maturity to know when you have outgrown certain kinds of relationships, because that actually happens. There are times when you wake up one morning and you find out that my values and this person's values no longer align. I'll give you a very vivid example. I had a friend some years ago. We're quite close to an extent. I wouldn't say like very close, but we're quite close. And I realized that after a while, we started to want very different things. And it's not a bad thing to want different things from your friends. But when that difference is sort of a misalignment in values, it becomes a problem. Because even the Bible says that we should not be unequally yoked, right? And that being unequally yoked doesn't just speak to a believer being friends or being very close to an unbeliever. It's usually not just that. You also have to realize that there are certain value systems that guide your life. And when the friendships that you're keeping are not honoring that value system, it's time for you to let go and it's time for you to walk away. Because what will happen if you force yourself to stay in that situation is that you start to grow apart from the person that you are supposed to be at your core. And you lose yourself and lose your identity in the process. So it is very toxic for you to keep yourself in relationships or friendships that no longer serve you or no longer align with your values. So the fourth point I want to speak about is conflict is good. Don't avoid it. I wish I knew this earlier, because I had the mindset that we're not supposed to quarrel or we're not supposed to fight in relationships or in friendships. And so it puts me in that situation where my friends will offend me and I'll keep quiet because I felt like I was being the bigger person. What I did not realize was that I was just accumulating hurt and pain. And over time, the outburst was crazy to the point that those relationships ended in a way that they shouldn't have. I learned that the hard way. You don't have to learn that the hard way. Understand that conflict is very important. All you need to do is to learn effective communication and learn how to manage conflicts effectively. If you can do these two things, you find out that your relationships will come with conflicts, but you can actually resolve those conflicts and grow from there. I believe that conflicts usually even help relationships become stronger and foster greater friendships. The fifth thing I want to talk about is something that I feel is so dear to me because it's something I've been burnt by several times in my life. And it is this: avoid fast friendships. I know there is such a thing as you meet somebody and they tick all your boxes and we're having beautiful conversation, we're talking for hours every day, and it looks like, oh, where has this person been all my life? And we're getting closer and we're beginning to open doors that will not usually open so fast for the person to come in and all that. And these things actually happen. And I've seen situations where that actually leads to healthy relationships that lasted years. But one thing I also realize is you also have to be careful, because not everyone that comes and seems very friendly should be given that chance from the beginning. So something happened some years ago, another example, with a particular person that I met her and it looked like, oh, she ticked all my boxes, we're having beautiful conversations where it was obvious that we were sort of reasoning at the same level at that point in my life. And after a while, I gave her a chance or an opportunity that I should have given to someone that was a lot closer. But I felt that we had clicked and she ticked a lot of my boxes and all that. And so I just let it be. But then months after, I started to regret that decision bitterly, because I realized that I did not give myself time to really get to know this person. You know, one thing I've realized is that people know how to say the right things. They know how to come at you with the things you feel that you want to hear. And sometimes, because of this, you are carried away by their language, by the things they say, that you're not focusing or placing emphasis on the things that are actually very important. You're not placing attention on the value systems that guide the conversation, the abundance that the person is speaking from. You're just paying attention to the words of their mouth. And this can be very endangering, because you never can tell who you will let into your door that would pose a problem for you in your life. So I would say, before you let anyone into your life, please do your due diligence. If you don't feel that release in your heart or in your spirit, don't be carried away by your flesh, or carried away by the fact that the person is just saying the right things, the person is just ticking all your boxes and all that. Take time to study the person. Take time to get to know the person. And I'm not speaking from a point of, oh, I put everybody through a test. No. I actually expect the people that I meet to put me through that test as well. Allow me earn your trust. That is how the relationship is going to be better. Allow people earn your trust. Don't just give them your trust anyhow. Allow them earn it. So I hope this video was valuable for you. There are so many lessons that I want to share, but I'll just leave it at these 5 for now. I hope that you go on to build beautiful relationships that will last a long time and will serve your purpose and also give you the kind of support that you need in life. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading from you in the comments. Bye.